hadamadin ila hadamadin ila hadamadin ila nyantolum preji kendomi annun ji senawo adabe hadamadun la baluwole kono annun hadamadun kan fengo fen dundi akono kono ayanda ke ku senawol ay ke kuti mi yalla ko ata hadamadun mantora madingul one stop water solutions limited ibe janne gambia banko kan annun ye filtarole natal me yalla ko isala jiol kende andi anu isa senen inatale pour ka ji kendo ji senawo natale gambia banko kan jio mi yalla ko atal mantora la annun jio diata ba one stop water solutions limited ye filtarole natal me yalla ko alse muna fangano la alla pompol isala jiol tenteng ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo holo fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solutions ya natalele 10 inch filter set of 3 ya sotalele filter mi yalon ko acidiota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12 inch set of 3 filter mi yalon ko acidiota aya dada aya senendi mense beta alla jata kendaro fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalon ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mense beta alla jata kendaya filter mi mboko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour ka alla jata kendaya sa hen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansun doku na wata tankol fana sotale kabirim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala isimol kumandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko.
Watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Wasonko here with my amazing co-host Ibrahim.
Yes, it's good to be back again on this morning. And how was your day?
Yesterday? It was a bit hectic this morning, midday news, 8 p.m. news. Yeah, but anyway, we enjoy it. So okay. That's the beautiful part of the whole process. How about you after this morning?
Well, after this morning, nothing much yesterday. You know, I was up and running. Okay. You know, doing few things. You know, Ramadan is not a very busy, month for me.
Yeah.
When I finish my programs, I'm a bit free, except trying to do certain things.
Okay, Dugadigina.
Yeah.
He's probably
good morning.
Planning next year's program that
Gemma
he's going to organize.
Ask me about the Gemma Chosan.
He wasn't here?
That will come. I was here.
Oh, okay.
I was here.
Oh, he was here.
At the event. What happened?
Something must have cropped up.
Yeah.
Some work-related something.
But it was beautiful.
Yes, so I heard.
We celebrated culture.
Yes.
And people dressed in their outfit, they were out. So a whole lot of stuff, and we've learned a lot from elders.
And a lot of money? How about money?
He won't talk about that.
He won't go there.
That's a skeleton in the cupboard.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, yes?
Yeah, welcome. I was just going to say it's great to be back again.
Yeah.
I was here yesterday. And I think we're making up for the fact that I was away for 3 weeks. So now,
so we'll have you here more often.
Days.
Yeah. So. But it's good to know that you rested.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good to know. And you brought us a whole book of proverbs from A to Z.
I did. I saw it in a shop in London, and I thought, yes, we're always having African proverbs.
Right.
So this is a whole book of African proverbs. Let me bring it.
Yeah.
And we can dip into it.
We will, surely.
Yeah. So what happened yesterday? You were in Ville. I mean, I didn't watch the news.
It was actually the talk of the town and people's status and stuff.
It's beautiful. I didn't see this. I'm just seeing someone's status.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So what do you think?
I think after Ramadan, this should continue.
It should continue after Ramadan.
That was the view of most of the people in the news team.
Yeah.
Actually, that this should not be just a Ramadan thing, that it should carry on after Ramadan, and I fully support that.
You do?
It's beautiful.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Well, anyway, it's broadcast. What do you expect? Well, I'll just stop there. So, yeah. Yes. So we have the African proverb here as usual. We have the newspaper review, Our guest is already here. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And on Community Watch today, we'll be taking a look at the community action on environment and development when it comes to their projects. If you've been following keenly the work that they've been doing, you would realize that they're into mangrove restoration, and we've been engaging them when it comes to their work, what they're doing, working on getting mangrove carbon credits and all of that. So we'll be joined by them here to further explain to us some of the projects that they're working on. And on social issues, a Ramadan discussion will follow with Imam Usman Jah, giving us all the tips as to what to do and what not to do. Looking forward to that. What is our African proverb?
I do not want to go close to this African proverb.
You today, Mr.
I don't even want to get closer. I mean,
Mr. Today you're going to get into it.
We will delve into this.
You have to delve into this.
well, okay.
Take it away.
Let's see what will happen.
Yeah.
When the termite hill rustles, go get your basket. When the termite hill rustles, go get your basket.
So what does this tell you?
I cannot even.
Okay, let me attempt.
I mean,
let me attempt.
Okay,
Mr. Ade, can
attempt.
you help us?
Let's debate.
It's for me. It's about preparedness,
Right.
Because there are some people who actually they actually collect termites and actually cook them, eat them, they fry them, and so on. And so when it rustles, there's some activity. So if you're one of those who actually collects them and
Who
fries
enjoy
them
that
and
recipe
enjoys,
of
go and get your
termites.
basket, because something's about to happen. And you know, the termite hill is rustling, so it means that there's going to be some movement, they'll be coming out. So go get your baskets, get ready to scoop them. It's
Yeah.
about,
It's
for me,
talking
it's about
about
preparedness.
Right.
Getting
It's
ready.
quite direct. You know, getting ready for some of the things that anyway, for me, it's always about achieving things. Somebody said, Jenaba, why is it that whenever you're interpreting African proverb, you have to try to, attach it
Make
to
it
trying to achieve
achieve
things and stuff. But because these are like life lessons
Of course.
that we get to have, and most of the time, it's about us as individuals always wanting to see ourselves somewhere.
Sure.
So most of these things are kind of like related to those instances. So let me ask, have you been in any situation? Obviously, yes, but just give us a situation where you had to, no matter what, act in a timely manner. Because when it comes to this proverb, it's about acting timely. When something is cooking, then you're there to make sure that
Yes.
if it's a problem, it's solved quickly. If it's something that you want to achieve, then you're there on time to make it happen. You know, give us an instance.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I mean, throughout one's life, there are always instances where
As such.
you have to sort of act in a timely manner. I can recall an instance where I was driving and somebody was involved in an accident. And, you know, for me, it was about, you know, calling in the UK, you just dial 999 very quickly.
Yeah.
And the ambulance and police will come, and it turned out to be, you know, a kind of life-saving instance, actually. And so, you know, that's one occasion. There's another occasion where a young man was arrested in front of me at the Notting Hill Carnival, and I happened to be behind him.
Right.
And it was a weird thing. I mean, I ran after the police and said, you know, you've arrested the wrong guy, you know. The case came to court a year later, and I ended up giving evidence on his behalf because I insisted on giving my details to the police. And he would have gone to jail for about 3-4 years
if you were in there
if
to
had I
witness
not
that.
been there.
Wow.
And so I had to act quickly. I followed the police, went to the police station, gave them my details. I actually harassed them. They were telling me, go away, we're not interested. And I can honestly say that as I finished my evidence, the judge said, I don't need to hear anymore. I believe Mr. Daramy. I'm dismissing this case.
Yeah.
The guy at first didn't even realize what was happening. And when his lawyers told him, he just cried.
Yeah.
And that was totally something where
That
I
was
could have walked
timely.
away.
You could have.
I could have
You
walked
could have
away
ignored
if I
it.
hadn't followed the police to the
You-
station and
yeah.
insisted on giving
After 1 year.
my statement. After 1 year, and it was it was bizarre. And it's kind of thing that I saw the guy on a bus.
Right.
And I've got a good I'm good at remembering faces.
Yeah.
So I saw him on a bus a year later. I'd been sent home because I was ill. I'd gone to work, I'd been sent home. I was sitting on the bus and I saw him coming onto the bus. And I said to him, I whispered, because I didn't want other people on the bus to hear. I said, aren't you the guy who was arrested last year at the carnival? And he was a bit defensive at first. He said, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm the guy who was trying to get the police to stop
Right.
you from being arrested. He said, I don't remember you. But the thing was, had I not given evidence,
Yeah.
he had no other witnesses and he was gone straight to jail.
Right.
So I told him, contact your lawyers, give them my details.
Yeah.
I said, here's this. I said, when they come to me, I'll show them the statement that I presented to the police.
Right.
And I mean, this is the thing, you know, people think police are kind of upright and so on. There are corrupt police all over the world.
Yeah.
And the police had not even tendered my statement.
Right.
Because they wanted the guy to go down.
Yeah.
Black guy, you know, young guy, you know, they didn't care.
Yeah.
And so his solicitors contacted me, and then they said, we find this hard to believe, you know, such a coincidence. His case is coming up in court next week.
And
And all of a
guys
sudden
got
he
to
produces
meet.
I said, well, you can test me.
Yeah,
You can ask
yeah.
me any question.
And
I said, I can describe the whole incident. I said, I haven't even seen the report.
Amazing.
I told them that in the scuffle where he got arrested, the ticket collector's watch came off and landed on the floor, etc. And they said, yeah, okay, all of that is in the data. And so I ended up giving evidence in the court. And
Yeah.
as I said, as soon as I finished, the judge just says, I don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So I
stopping
think
this
generally it's good to be act. It's good to act fast, you
quickly
know,
because
and all of
it
that.
could be
It can be a life-saving moment.
It could be a life-saving moment.
Yes.
And in that instance, honestly, it stopped that guy going to prison. He would definitely have gone to prison.
Yeah. I think this you know, we don't need to give our own story. that it's closed. It's a period, okay?
So, you know, act
yes,
promptly.
as
Act
quick as
promptly
possible.
when something
Yeah, but the
happens.
African proverb tomorrow, he'll have to interpret.
Oh,
We
yeah,
will
he
not-
can't,
we
he
will
can't
not
get
inter-
out. He can't get out.
We
of there.
Well,
yes, anyway.
We'll
Yes, I think due to time constraints, we have to now head to the newspaper review.
Yes.
So we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. We'll be right back.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Already dealt with our African proverb. If you've missed anything, head right onto our Facebook and YouTube page just to catch up on what you've missed. And don't forget that One Stop Water Solution is our sponsor, and we really, really appreciate them. And I think other businesses should take up this opportunity during the Ramadan, especially food businesses, to come on board, join us and advertise what they have, and we will do it perfectly well. It's a bunch of marketers sitting in front of you.
Yep, of course.
What do you expect? So we head right on to the newspaper review now. That's the point.
The point newspaper. Amil Tarawale urges peace in parliamentary election process. And of course, Belgium city mayor vindicates mayoress law. NAWEC and Senelec sign 50 million power purchase agreement. Gambia participates, calls for media fairness ahead of parliamentary elections. And of course, NCAC UNESCO launches over 50,000 US dollars to safeguard intangible cultural heritage projects.
And that story keeps on
we-
popping
it
up,
keeps
like
coming
for
up.
three consecutive.
Yeah, we spoke about it
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we have The Voice. Mai Fati tells government to place embargo on importation of onions. And few days to National Assembly election, some candidates still invisible. Okay. And Yakumba Jaite to ensure Serekunda Health Center gets maternity ward. And National Assembly candidate claims Jammeh did better in fighting corruption than Barrow. And Samba Toure ready to fight against hiking price of food. And the Amir of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, Trawale, calls on Gambians to preach and practice peace ahead of elections.
I've got Foroya.
Yeah.
How the Senegalese military raid in Casamance impacts villages in Fonyi is their main headline. And then there's another one which might be linked. Internally displaced households seek assistance as Ramadan begins. PDOIS candidate holds rally in Wuli Sutukoba. And now this word, bemoan, I only see it in Gambia. I see bemoan and decry. You'll never see it in an English newspaper in England. I see it a lot in Gambia. Just say they complain about, but no, they bemoan. Tenants bemoan exorbitant rent. And then there's again, possibly a linked story saying housing, a major concern, rising rents backed by callous cash payment.
Right.
And there's also an interesting one in the corner, right-hand corner, says, can the police interfere with civil cases?
Yeah.
And there's one which I haven't read the story. Plaintiff's lawyer tenders more documents in court.
Yeah.
Can you turn
I think the rent.
I can. I always like to go to the back page
Yes.
for the sports and so on, but it's not sports this time.
What is happening?
But there's an interesting one. It says oyster sellers increase price as season opens.
Oh, yes.
It probably can say as the oyster shell opens as well. And Brikama New Market under construction. We have colleagues from Brikama. We might ask them about that. And, I hadn't even read the back.
Yeah.
What was I said? Bemoan and decry. Award-winning author decries lack of investment in... Stop using these phrases. Just say somebody complains about something. Don't bemoan and decry.
Anyway, I think we need to talk about the rent issue.
Yeah.
The issue of rent. How can... It's a bit complex.
It's more than
It's
a
very
bit complex
if you take a look at it, because it's a lot of parties involved.
Yeah.
They're the agents there.
Sure.
The owner, you as an individual, what does the law say? Are these people following the law? They're not. And then if they don't follow it, how can you seek redress?
Yeah.
So it's such a complicated situation.
Like you said, I mean, the issue of rent is very complicated.
Yeah.
Rent is very expensive. And at the same time, now parties involved, before you get to the landlord himself, you pay a whole lot of money.
Right,
Even to show you a particular house,
Yes.
you have to pay.
So
whether
the agents...
whether you like the
it or
house
not.
or you don't like the house.
You still
if they
have
have
to
to
pay.
take you there, you'll have to pay. It's
And most of the time, what they do is they already know they've given it to someone else, but they still take you there to look at it, and then you pay by force.
Right.
It's happening.
I mean, it's interesting because, I hear you guys talking about this, and I kind of smile. I mean, a friend of mine, 10 years ago in Ghana, when people wanted to look at a house, what he did was every house that he had on his books as an estate agent, he had it videoed. They videoed all the rooms. You came and he gave you a DVD, you took it home and you watched it. If you wanted a house, you contacted him to say, I like that house, I want to rent it. Why don't people do that? You don't have to take people to a house. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why? Just have it videoed.
Yeah,
and people can go and watch it.
Yeah, but sometimes some of these videos are not... Some do the videos and the pictures, but also there's evidence that when you go,
it's not what
it looks like.
Listen, look, any estate agent who does that is not going to get people's business.
Yeah.
Because once you go and it's not what it looks like, you're not going to buy it or you're not going to rent it.
Right.
So so do it properly. Do it well. And then people can say, and then you also get a reputation. Somebody says, oh, I rented from that guy. And the DVD or the video he gave me was exactly what the house was like. Video everything. The inside, the outside, the toilet, the bathroom, the kitchen, the things that people are concerned about. And you say, here, go and watch it and discuss it with your family.
I also think, Mr. Ade, in this instant, it's even beyond the agents. That is little money. That's 300, 500 sometimes. Maximum 1,500
that you pay
to go look at it.
Yeah.
But now the problem, is about the law. It's about, rules and regulations surrounding the whole rental issue and all of that. That's the problem, because people are asked to pay 6 months, 12 months. That is illegal.
Yeah.
All of that is illegal, and who's there? Who can you report to?
That's it.
I
mean, it's you said at the beginning, it's a complex matter.
It's too complex.
And it really is. There's article here, kind of editorial saying, about government you know, government has a duty to provide habitable shelter, sufficient food and security to all persons. I can't lay everything at the door of government, I'm sorry. You know, these are private matters that people have to negotiate. But, you know, the people who are renting and the agents have to behave better. Otherwise, they'll get a bad reputation.
Yeah.
And if I get and you know how it is, how things work. If I get good service from somebody, it's human nature. Sometimes you keep it to yourself. But when you get bad service from somebody, you tell everybody.
You tell everybody.
So, you know, these people end up with their reputations damaged because, you know, by word of mouth.
Right.
Well, I know you don't put everything on the government. But in this case, what do you think, I mean, should the government do, at least to help its citizens when it comes to housing needs in the Gambia, at least so that it can be a win-win situation for the government?
Yeah, I mean, in some countries, what you get, for example, in Rwanda, right now, the government is just building about 400 houses close to the city center and close to where all the ministerial offices for government workers. And they're going to be at quite low rents. And so that is something that, you know, if you imagine 400 houses, maybe 2 or 3 persons per household. That's a lot of people. That's 1,000 something, how many people. And so there are those sorts of things. You know, for soldiers and for the police, they have barracks as well, which again take people out of the sort of rental market, and then, you know, they can stay at the barracks.
Yeah, I think
So
it's about
sometimes-
companies.
yeah.
For me, it's about companies taking it up. You know, companies, big corporations.
That's a commercial.
Yes, building houses and giving it to their staff, and then they'll be paying, and then these people will in turn even be loyal to you. Because the thing is, the average Gambian said the salary in Gambia, you can't secure a home.
Yeah, true.
It's
Like
very
it's
difficult.
there, you cannot get a house, and then people are forced to be corrupt, because most of the time it's about just amenities that people cannot live without. You know?
Imagine your salary is $6,000, for example.
As much as that.
And your house rent is 6,000.
For you.
I've said
What's
this.
going to happen? And you're supposed to buy rice.
I have said this many times.
Yeah.
If you look at many people's salaries and you look at their expenses,
It's not
the
even
mathematics
compatible.
just do not add up.
It doesn't
Expenses
work.
are here and salaries are here.
And you wonder how they manage.
I
Because you
don't
think
know.
you're earning that much and a bag of rice is this, a bag of sugar is that. So where are you getting the rest to kind of make up for
Where
it?
are you getting the rest? Corruption.
You know, to pay your rent, to
Yeah.
buy that bag of rice, that bag of sugar, the onions and so on.
Well,
You know
Mr.
where the
Adi-
rest comes
no,
from? Stealing?
No, if
Stealing.
we are to be very serious, you know,
What?
if we are serious to fight corruption,
It's
we
not
need
all
to
the time
make
stealing,
sure,
but
we need to make sure at least your employees are not 100% satisfied, but at least 98%. You provide their needs. But also side hustle as well.
Side hustle.
It's
How many
important.
people?
That's
Listen,
what
we are
I
all in
believe
the
in.
Gambia here. We live here. No matter how much sometimes you do all these side hustle, it doesn't even matter.
It cannot add up.
It does not add up. Side hustle, it's a group of people that we all know that really have a monopoly on certain things that
Exactly.
they're even doing or trying to achieve. We know
Exactly,
here and
absolutely.
how it works. And it's not every job that you're doing where you can secure a side hustle. So where are those people getting money from?
Yeah,
Where's the money coming from?
makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder.
Well, and at some point, you will see a person, you will see the kind of a house that a person built.
Yeah.
And you are definitely sure this guy is not earning this salary.
It's not happening.
I've seen it a few times.
Yeah. So
And to
moving
think
on.
that we started talking about rent.
Yeah. So moving
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
Do you have an interesting headline there?
I think you have one
But
there.
anyway, we have one here which says National Assembly member candidate claims Jammeh did better fighting corruption than Barrow. Is this a fair comment?
I think the thing is there's a perception. And I'll give you an example of what used to happen when I came here during the Jammeh years.
Yeah.
If you were here during the Jammeh years, you or I could not come on this station, on a radio station, and talk about corrupt officials. We'd probably get arrested before we leave this place. And so because people were scared to come forward with the truth, people think he was dealing with corruption. He was doing nothing of the sort. We've seen the commissions of inquiry. They were corrupt to the core, including the man himself. So that's rubbish. I'm sorry. It's absolute garbage, you know. You know, just because people were scared. Even something as basic as criticizing the fact that you spoke to people in the schools and the colleges and you felt that the education system was poor. I appeared on a GRTS program. We weren't even allowed to speak about that because they said Jammeh would get upset.
Yeah.
So if we don't speak about it, people think the education system is fine. It wasn't. It was rubbish.
And that's all corruption.
You know, and it's the same with corruption. People were scared to talk about it and criticize it whilst he was in power. It doesn't mean he was dealing with it at all. So when I hear this, I just dismiss it. It's garbage. Sorry. You know, I don't believe it. You know, just because people are scared to bring something to the fore, because doesn't mean that it's being dealt with.
There's this accident that you actually witnessed. I'm just getting to
saying a corrupt person was dealing with corruption is beyond laughable. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yes, we have an interesting headline there.
Well, let's take a look at let's talk about peace. It's important to maintain peace. It's time for elections, you know. But I think we need to go and look at the footages of the accident.
Oh, there's footage.
Yes, I mean, I think control rooms should provide that for.
Right.
Yes, the accident. They are common these days, Mr. Ade.
Far too common. On the day I landed, our reporter in Soma posted some pictures of a really terrible accident that had happened, and there were fatalities. And the one that we're seeing now, I think that might have been a picture I took this morning.
Oh, okay.
Outside furniture shop, just 2 doors away from our office here on Kairaba. Yes, it's a picture I took. According to a guy who says he was an eyewitness and the policewoman who was there, 3 people were killed in this accident this morning, and the one survivor had both her legs broken.
Oh, God.
Again, speeding.
When you look at the manner of the accident,
I mean, when you think that this car was hit from the road to land outside the doors of that furniture shop. The force of the impact must have been tremendous.
Yeah.
well,
I mean, and we're showing it because really we're sick and tired of reporting these every day, and we keep talking about this statistic that a country as small as Gambia in 2019 was ranked 4th in the world by WHO for road traffic accidents. That's a scandal, and it's a shame, and we should not be there. We should not be anywhere near that statistic. We shouldn't be in the top 20 or 30. And yet you see it. But the reason we're showing is that what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to, post these and complain, and people say, oh, well, these things happen? No, these things happen because we need to change our attitude on the road. I mean, every time I'm coming in the morning, I see people speeding and driving and overtaking 3 or 4 cars at a time, and you're thinking, what's the hurry? On very narrow roads, what's the hurry? And this one, 3 people who left home this morning probably said goodbye to their loved ones, thinking they're going to see them again. We know that nobody is promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But honestly, these accidents are avoidable. And that's why people like myself and others get upset about it.
When you look at the manner, when you look at this vehicle, you will realize they were speeding. Because normally, when if they were not speeding,
the impact.
It wouldn't be serious this way.
That's right. I mean, the impact of what you see there must have been tremendous speed to knock it off the road and clear onto the side of that shop. It's really sad. But I keep saying this. We need to do something about it, and by we I mean members of the public. Maybe we need to ask our colleagues at QCell to send messages to people. Drive safely, drive carefully, drive with care and consideration, whatever it is. But we need to get away from this shameful statistic that we are ranked number 4 in the world for road traffic accidents. A country of 2.1 million people should not be anywhere near that statistic.
Right. Thank you so much, Adedrami, for joining us. I didn't get the whole accident aspect. I thought you actually witnessed it.
No, I didn't witness it. I came minutes after it happened. And in fact, our colleague Babukar Sise said to me, how did you not see?
How, it's quite sad. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll go for a short break. We'll be right back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Want it? Order for it and pay quickly using QuickPay on the QMoney platform. With great technology comes ease and convenience. Get a glimpse of what a comfortable life is with QMoney by dialing *323# now. Call 133 for more information. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpet.
Back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV This Morning. Ibrahima, now we head right on to discussing work of Community Action Platform on Environment and Development.
Exactly. We are back again, and welcome to the platform.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Momodu Inkeba.
And Fatmata Maro.
All right, and Fatmata Maro. Thank you so much. Yes, so give us an update. You've been on QTV for about three times, you know, talking about the work that you do as an organization. So I believe this is just a follow-up on the work that CAPE is up to. So just give us a brief follow-up on all of the discussions that we've been having. What have you been up to?
Well, to start with, CAPE have expanded into other regions in the country. We were initially mostly concentrated on the West Coast region, that is around the Fonyi areas. Recently we went to LRR, where we covered Kiang and Jarasoma. And also we covered KMC as well. You know, this year, early this year, around February of this year, and even last month, March, we did Joswang with the Tri-Oyster Women, and we also did the Tambe Wetlands, that is on Old Cape Road from Cape Point towards Banjul. Okay. And we also now our presence is felt around North Bank as well. We are in Kerewan and in Ilyasa. You know, we're trying to restore the Bau Bolong, which has suffered a lot of degradation in the recent past.
Can you tell us the success you've registered since you started this whole process? I mean, once you are doing something, at least you need a positive outcome.
The outcomes are numerous.
Yes, when he said that, I was like, we're going to sleep here today.
Very well, exactly. The outcomes are numerous. We are able to reclaim at least 170 hectares of land that was lost to salt intrusion. That is given back to our ladies, our mothers. I mean, because of salt intrusion, they lost vast hectares of land. And because of our project, because we planted mangroves around the wetlands that have helped women reclaim at least 170 hectares of land in all our intervention communities. Not only that, with the coming back of the mangrove restoration project have also seen the increase in the availability of fish, oysters, and shrimps. So the oyster farmers will tell you that they are now getting a good catch. They harvested a lot of oysters. The fishermen will tell you now that because the mangroves are naturally a breeding ground for fish. I mean, a hectare of mangrove can produce up to 3 tons of fish, oysters, and shrimps. So the fishermen will also tell you that they don't need to paddle upstream to be able to come up with a good catch. For instance, in the recent past, they've been going for hours even late at night before they could come up with a good catch. But with the coming back of the mangroves, it's a natural habitat, like I used to say. It's a natural niche where all these ecosystems can thrive.
Right.
So the benefits, of course, are very enormous. And not only that, when it comes to climate change in itself, a hectare of mangroves can sequester. When we say sequester, that is carbon offsetting. It can sequester up to 125 kilograms of carbon in a year. That is almost our average carbon footprints in this country.
Yeah. Wow. So moving on, Fatu, let's talk about the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has really affected the work of CAPE. Considering that, it required social distancing and all of that must have affected, the growing of mangroves, having access to oysters and all of that.
It wasn't like really hard for us to like come out of that.
Okay.
Because when we went to, let's say when we went to Sankande, it was really, at that time it was really hard that was when the COVID was really hot in the country.
Okay.
So people were kind of, laying back.
Yes.
You have to convince them to come in and all that.
So what measures did you put in place to make sure that
we were
things
giving
happen?
them maxes. We gave them maxes. We had sanitizers with us. We had all the requirements that we wanted to have, and everyone was far a bit, like 1 meter from each other.
Okay.
It was at least, we had 100+ people that was with us. So it was kind of difficult at the point, but we had to do it because that was one of the things.
So this is like a community-based project.
Yeah.
How structured is it? Because when I know he will say, oh, she's always talking about that. But I know of a community in Kenya where the mangroves that they get, putting carbon credits aside, which is kind of complex, but they try by all means to actually structure the money, putting it back into community development directly.
Yeah.
So is this addressing that as well?
Let's say yes.
In what ways? How structured is it?
Very structured. Yes. Inke, can you tell her more on that?
Yes, we are really very structured because we mapped all our intervention sites. So for posterity and for sustainability and for further studies. In fact, recently we've got students that are coming from UK to come and conduct some studies. Right now, as we are talking, we've got 2 people from Italy who came purposely from Artwatch International. They're going to do a special survey and a special
dissertation?
Not dissertation, but special studies on the mangrove ecosystem and the causes of the mangrove dieback. So we're going as far as Senegal. We doing it very structured way, which is why we are doing it in communities that are feeling more the devastating effects of climate change. And mostly these are communities that are poor rural communities. We once discussed, and there was this thing that you said that really captured my mind, that most of the people that are feeling the devastating effects of climate change are contributing least.
They are not even contributing.
Not contributing to the causes of climate change. So our work is really very structured. CAPE has a board, we have an executive, and it's a running institution.
Right.
Our presence is felt almost in every fabric of our society, especially in rural Gambia. So what we're trying to do right now is to make sure that we restore all the degraded wetlands in this country. I know it will take us quite a long time and quite a lot of resources to do that. But we had to make sure that our work is synchronized with that of our neighbors, which is Senegal. For instance, in the Bintang Bolong, the strip that flows from Bintang Bolong runs through Sintet, then to Senegal, that is the Casamance region, the southern Casamance region of Senegal. So obviously what obtains in the Gambia, the ecosystem and everything that obtains in the Gambia has a far-reaching consequences, with that of Senegal. So if the Gambian ecosystem is restored and Senegal is not restored, in the long run, we are going to lose our ecosystems.
Right?
Because they share the same ecosystem, the same rivers, the same natural environment, and the same habitats.
Yeah. So Fatu, let me ask, you know about the fact that Gambia wants to drill for oil, when the world is moving away from fossil fuel. So, as an environmental activist, as an individual working when it comes to, carbon footprints and just the mitigation, adaptation, and just the whole package of it, what does that tell you? I engaged the Honorable Minister and he talked about the fact that these emissions can be controlled with what we have as a country. But still, maybe you guys might have your reservations as to what you think about the whole process, considering the world is working towards transitioning.
Come back on that.
Okay, Inke, can you take that?
Well,
yeah.
I think there is a lot of things that are going on without the proper, what we call the environmental impact assessments. When there is no correct environmental impact assessment, nothing much is achieved. I mean, we saw people constructing dams that have really destroyed the ecosystems, and they have destroyed the rivers and destroyed even the resources that are got from the rivers, that is our marine resources. So we've seen, you know, other factories that have been put up without a proper environmental assessment.
Right.
So what we want to fight for is we are able to create an alliance this year. I mean, you were part of the alliance. Yes. You are part of the initiative from its infancy. I am
part of the alliance.
You are part of it from its infancy, like from concept to completion.
Yes, and so I'm happy about that.
What the alliance seek to address is things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at a personal level, CAPE cannot amplify our voice. We cannot fight alone.
Right.
So we try to bring an alliance where almost all CSOs, environmental CSOs in this country, come under that alliance. So we thought that way we could amplify our voices, we could create a widespread impact, and we could even fight together. I mean, we are stronger together. When we are together, we are stronger. I mean, when CAPE alone speaks about some environmental issues, probably the government
it might not stand out.
Yeah, exactly. They may not take us seriously.
Yes.
But when it is concerted efforts, we have, you know, CSOs from rural Gambia, CSOs from here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that way we could be able to create a widespread impact.
For me, you know, the alliance, what really catches my attention more is the fact that we are a less developed country. And considering with these lists, you know, with this meager resources that we have, then it can be channeled through a particular institute. I saw you at the launching, you know, as an environmental activist. How do you feel considering that we are all able to come together to work, to put all of our personal objectives aside and bring it on one table to actually move forward?
When Inke was coming up with that idea, it was really brilliant because it's out of 100 people, you have like 5 people thinking about that, and I think it's one of the best things we did, and we did it late.
Yeah.
Right? We should have done that in a
long time ago. Yeah.
So bringing all these people, the ocean heroes, the mangrove people, the recyclers, the everything in one platform.
Yeah. And the journalists.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, you should be there, of course.
Yes.
So I'm sorry you were there, and I was so proud you were there. And, you know, to stand for your own country and this as an environmentalist as well. And a journalist on top of that. So it was really overwhelming, and you could see how the crowd, everyone was out of it.
Packed.
So that means we are looking forward or working towards a lot of work to be done. Because we need, you see, the country is really, when we say Gambia, we're not really sanitary, we're not really clean. We have a lot of things to do. In the beaches, when we go on mangrove planting, you can see a lot of plastics in the water, which is killing our fishes, which is bad for our environment and everything. So I think that was one of the greatest steps the GEA
and considering
took.
we have an ambitious NDC.
I am interested to know, where do you get these mangroves that you plant in the river? I just want to know.
Well, you go ahead.
Mangroves, you see, when they're grown, if you just look at it, there's some mangroves stems on it, like a stem.
Sort of a socker?
A socker, something that you just plug in. So it's really hectic because we have to transport, we have to get it from all the way from the low, let's say the up countries, like there, then I bring it to Brikama and bring it here. So there are different kind of mangroves. So there's this black one. What's the name again?
The black mango.
Black mango? That's
Resophora. That's a scientific name.
Exactly.
That is scary.
Resophora. So that's mostly, normally the ones that we normally use for planting.
All right. So just finally, Inke, what should we look forward to? Time is up.
Well,
look forward to seeing us planting more mangroves all over Gambia.
All right.
Very well.
Okay.
We're looking forward to expanding, like she said.
Yeah.
I mean, our presence was felt only in West Coast region. Now we are expanding, and we want to go as far as CRR now.
Right.
Especially now that studies have also found out that salt intrusion is going as far as Kuntaur area, which never used to obtain in this country. No matter how the rainy season, or no matter how how will I say, that is during the time of the dry season, salt water moves up country from the coast down to up country. It used to go until around Tendaba. At most, it used to go until around Jaren, that is Nyamina. But now recently, it is going as far as Kuntawur, which is really very scary. What that means is that we are losing again our vast hectares of land,
And
because
more
this
work
used to be
needs to be
fresh
done.
water, and you know in CRR the reason why they are growing rice all year round is because of the River Gambia.
Right.
Some part of it is fresh water.
Right.
So if salt water is intruding into the fresh water of the River Gambia, that is really very scary.
It's scary.
That means that we are going to experience low agricultural productivity,
Right.
because people are not going to have access to land, especially our mothers.
All right, thank you so much. Inky, due to time constraints, but when it comes to the alliance, I'm sure we'll be able to bring you guys back.
Very well, yes.
Just so we, you know, there
talk more
is a
about the
lot of
alliance.
things that we need to talk about in relation to the alliance. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very
So
much.
we will go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll have a Ramadan discussion here. I'm not sure that you Santa ba ay Momodu Inky ba. I'm not sure how they do it. I'm not sure how they do it. But we'll be joined by Imam Usman Jah. He'll be here to actually talk to us about some of the few do's and don'ts when it comes to Ramadan. We'll be right back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living,
We need light to work,
to build.
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And like I said, we're now joined by Imam Usman Jah to just talk to us generally about some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to Ramadan. Ibrahima,
Yes.
thank you so much, Imam, for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Sohna
Jainaba.
and
Ibrahima.
Mr. Ibrahima. Naka lañ ko tuddee sax. How do I call you, your program? Weltare, Mr. Weltare. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Imam jërëjëf si li ñu join fii nii because Ramadan daf dee am a lot of misconceptions. Nit ñi dañ dee am a lot of misconceptions about what to do, what not to do when it comes to certain instances. So I think it is important that nga ñëw fii nii su ko defee certain small misconceptions yi nga xam ne nit ñi am nañ ko ñu mun koo clarify. So Ibrahima, where should we start from? I'm particularly interested in the individual traveling. You know, because there's a lot of things you know about traveling, because maybe you have to know about the distance, about the manner and all of that.
Dama buga bala ñoo start. Dama buga ñu laajte imam because dama gis benn hadith boo xam ne tey si suba ñu ne Sahih al-Bukhari 1933 ñu ne Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said whoever eats or drinks forgetfully while he is fasting, let him complete his fast, for Allah has fed him, okay, and give him drink.
So mistakenly taking food.
Ndax wérut imam.
Okay.
Wér na but dafa need explanation.
Right.
Xam nga dañoo am ci Islam lu ñu tuddee Islamic schools of thought.
Right.
te yi ci gën a famous ñeneent la Maliki ñun ci moom la ñu
moom lañ topp although ne fi ne Maliki mu ngi dem down bu baax a baax li ko waral mooy li ëpp ci Islamic scholars yi tey fañ jàngee nekkul Maliki school of thought ñu jàng yeneen school of thought wuññeeku nag di ko practice ba pare ñu njeexital nag ci nit ñi nga xam ne demuñu woon jàngi waaye Maliki school of thought moom li mu wax mooy koo xam ne juubu na te mooy loolu ci weeru koor dafa war a fay bés bi ñii nag soo demee ci Ahmad ak nga dem ci Shafii ñoom ñu ne déedéet su fekkee ne juubu la doo ko fay meaning ne suñ demoon ba nit ki def ko wér na maanaam suñ demoon ba nit ki juum lekk wala naan nga ñàkk fay wér na am nga foo ko teg léegi nag dafa dépend xam nga ñaari nit a fi ne ku jàng ba mun a xam looy def lu ne fi nga ko teg ak ki nga xam ne jàngul ki jàngul moom dafa roy dafa am koy toppa ki ngay toppa su fekkee Maliki school of law la toppa kon li muy def moom ngay def waaw su fekkee da nga jàng nag loo gis ba xam ne lii lu wér la sañ nga koo def waaye ki jàngul sañut a def loolu waaw waaye daal wér na ku juum ñàkk a fay loolu wér na comme hadis bi hadis bu wér
so Imam, you talk about the traveling tamit what you know Ramadan and getting to travel you know the relationship between the two
okay waaw traveling l'islam xam nga diine yombal la saa yoo xamee ne jafe-jafe ñëw na l'islam daf lay daganalal lum xaraamaloon xam nga daganul bëccëgi weeru koor nit ñàkk a oor te amuloo ngant waaye tukki waxuñ ne dafay am coono waaye dañ ci séntu coono léegi nag l'islam may na koo xam ne da ngay tukki te loolu texte la boo xam ne mu ngi ci alquranul karim moo ko wax kuy tukki may nañ la nga leb soo paree nga fay waaye tukki boobu nag dafa am condition
exactly
condition bi mooy tukki bi dafa war a nekk tukki jaamu yàlla bu mu nekk tukki mooy yàlla suñ ne tukki jaamu yàlla mooy tukki bu dagan waaye bu mu doon tukki mooy yàlla parce que ñaar yu rek a fi ne tukki mooy yàlla par exemple waa ji dafa yore benn girlfriend mu nga ca base par exemple ngay dem rek pour gisante ji ak sa girlfriend
maanaam bànneex
waaw bànneexu bakken dafay dem daal ci jànqam kooku du dagan wala dafay dem pour sàcc wala dafay dem defi daal lay tax mu dem daal lu daganul la kooku du dagan lu tukki mi sori du dagan mu dog kooram because tukki mi du tukkim jaamu yàlla mooy du tukki mu dagan waaye su fekkee tukki mu dagan la damay dem seeti suma yaay damay dem seeti suma baay damay business damay dem liggéeyi su boobaa may nañ la nga dog su fekkee ne charte yëpp dajee nañ charte yi mooy lan mooy distance bi dañ ci am soxla distance bi biñ ko cegee ci jamono tey pour ñu mën koo dégg dañu wax ne il faut mu nekk lu tolloog 83 kilomètres waaw dina mut 83 kilomètres so bu boobaa képp kuy tukki lu tolloo 83 kilomètres te fekk na tukki mi lu dagan la dagan na nga leb bés boobu waaye alquran na ba mu ko waxee it dafa wax ne waaye nag soo ooroon dee moo gën
waaw
ci di same texte bi
ndax optional yi ndax
waaw is optional di same texte bi daf ne waaye boo ooroon dee moo gën waaye dagan na nga def ko ok léegi naka lañ koy defee itam moo di ne da ngay leb bés bi maanaam su fekkee da ngay tukki da ngay éene ne ëllëg damay tukki damay dog waaw su ko defee nag sooy dog itam nga def ko ci sutura bul nekk di ci kanam nit ñi nga di ko defee noonu yooyu yëpp dañ pour ormal weeru koor bi soo noonu la mbir mi demee léegi nag seetu ci ndax da nga sonn wala sonnloo su eboo sax muy pileen waaw su eboo ngay dox su eboo nga war mbaam ndem daal distance bi mut na 83 kilomètres ba pare tam te tukki bi dagan na kon bu boobaa dagan na nga ñàkk a oor nga leb ko waaye da nga koy fay waaye boo ooree nag moo ñu gënal loolu mooy li aju ci
nañ waxtaan affaire yi sukuri koor yi yu ñëw yóbbu si goro yi yóbbu fële family member yi loolu yoon la ndax loolu just jàmm rek lañ bugg a diggante bi ndax loolu moo war a am loolu dañ ko santa ndax loolu dañ koo def rek pour neexal
xam nga l'islam dafa am juróomi stages moom la àtte am dafa am lu ñuy tuddee lu war obligation mooy loo xam ne yàllaa ko santaane te dogu ci soo ko defee mu fay la soo ko deful mu duma la mu sañ laa duma loolu moom la ñuy tuddee lu war mooy obligation wala compulsory mu am beneen bu ñuy tuddee mandub mooy loo xam ne dañ ko sopp dañ ko bëgg lool waaye duñ forcé wuñ la soo ko defee nga am ci reward soo ko defut kenn du la duma dañ ko fonk lool am lu ñuy tuddee xaraam xaraam mooy luñ fobiit loo xam ne soo ko defee yàlla sañ na laa duma soo ko baxee te jublu ci jaamu yàlla mun na la cee fay am lu ñu tuddee makruh mooy luñ sib mooy loo xam ne bugguñ daal nga def ko waaw waaye soo ko defee doo ci jëlee benn bàkkaar soo ko defut te jublu ci jaamu yàlla mën nga cee jëlee reward mu am bu ne ci diggante bi nag mooy mu baax mooy loo xam ne dañ lay wax ne dafa dagan su la neexee def su la neexee bàyyi yooyu moo fi am léegi soo ñëwee ci sukkari weeru koor duhul lu war duhul sax doo wax ne sax luñ sopp la lu dagan la rek kum neex def kum neex bàyyi léegi nag culture bu ne culture daf dee njeexital ci jëf yi bi nga xamee ne weeru koor weeru generosity la weeru charity la weeru dox bokk la weeru def lu baax la nit ñi di ci baaxoo pour di ci def jëf joo xam ne dafa jokk bokk dafa rafetal ñu di ko ngir timing bi time weeru koor bi ñu di ko ci def mu mujj nag nekk culture ñu dem ba miin ko mu mujj mel ni it's an obligation ba sax soo ko defut mën naa indi ay jafe-jafe yu bare loolu nag du diine waaw mbir la daal moo xam ne ku ko man maanaam weeru koor dafa jot te am na ñoo xam ne yaa leen tane nga jox leen ne leen am leen dimbandikoo ci weeru koor li tax ñu tuddee ko sukkari weeru koor mooy dañoo xam ne biir weeru koor li nit ñi soxla ci suukar dafay bare loolu rek la moo tax mu tudd sukkari waaye doo si miin sax ne forcé nga joxe suukar da nga gis koo xam ne xaalis lay joxe ne am sa sukkari weeru koor ak moo xam ne maalo lay joxe am sa sukkari weeru koor soo dafa dipeen léegi maanaam aada la bu baax aada la bu baax waaye nag su paasee rëdd wi rek dafay indi yàq comme daanaka nag foofu lañ toll si na am na sëy yoo xam ne mu ngi yox-yoxi ngir suñ jabar joxuñ ñu sukkari weeru koor njëkke yi mën nañu wax ne suma jabari broda joxuñ ñu sukkari weeru koor wala yaay ji wax loolu ñu demee noonu loolu nag suñ demee ba booba dafay mujj sax nekk luñ sib dañ koy bañ waaw
waaye imaam am na sax li nga laalu important njëkke goro ñu dem si ay affaire yekkale tey man tey su ma dëkkoon si community boo xam ne man maa ngi fa dëkka fa ak suma jëkkër waaye dëkkuma suma goro yi ak suma njëkke yi waaye xam naa ne ñu dëkka suma community they need food dañ xiif waaye because dama feel ne tradition la it's compulsory on me pour ma yekkal suma goro yeeg suma njëkke yi ban laa war a def ma jox ko ñi nekk si suma community te leer na ma ne they don't have enough food wala yëkkale boo xam ne teraanga lañ ko téye ne danga ko war a def
amul benn sikk ne bu njëkk bi mooy bi gën xam nga yàkkale lu ne l'islam diine dafa am bët bu mu koy xoolee yàkkale cosaanam mooy dimbale koo tane waaye nekkut pour meya teranga nii rek meya teranga it baax na definitely waaye soo ko compare ak ki nga xam ne moom amul lum lekk amul benn sikk ne jox ko ki amul lum lekk mooy boobu mooy suñ priorité moom la l'islam bëgg dëgg-dëgg nag waaw waaye yakkal sa njëkke itam teranga la joo xam ne l'islam daf ko apprécier maanaam bépp jëf joo xam ne da nga koy defal ki la jegeñ wala ki nga bokkat mbir ay mbir nga di ko def nag ngir yàlla waaye jublu ci jokk ak bokk loolu islam daf koy apprécier bu baax because ñaari area yu bokkut lañ maanaam ñaar yi nga joxe bokkuñ area bi mbiri teraanga la boo xam ne borom sax mun naa am ne moo la ëppale nga di ko wan rek sa xol ne da nga ko sopp da nga ko apprécier nga di ko jox naa waaye tudd sax ndimbal waaye teraanga rek nga koy def nga jublu ci jokk bokk ak jaamu yàlla nga jëlee ko ci bokkut ak beneen bii dama foog ne nit kiy def lii loolu bu mu ko bàyyiloo sax muy def beneen bi maanaam su weeru koor jotee nit ñi nga xam ne dañoo ne ci sa wet même bu dul sax weeru koor nit ku nekk ci sa wet te mu wóor la ne loxoom jotut gannaaw du lekk suur wala lekk yu neex sax du koy mën a am léegoo léegi nga di ko dimbale dafay baax lool soo ñëwee ci sang bi Moustapha sallallahu taala alayhi wa sallam wax na ko sax ne su fekkee da nga dëkk ak nit ci kër mu ne da leen yokk seen ñeex mi waaw ndax ngeen may ci seen dëkkandoor bi amul léegoo léegi mën ngaa jënd sa ñam wu neex ngay sànni xeeñ gi di neex te fekk sa dëkkandoor bi moom keroog cuuraa la am pour lekk xeeñ gu neex gi am na ko doomam yi mu ngi leen di yëpp xeeñ na leen ba pare tam mosuñ ci yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wasallam mu ne bul def loolu mu ne soo toggee lu neex na nga ko bëril ndax nga may sa dëkkandoor bi ba pare nga daw ci itam xel waaw nga daw ci xel ndax itam di lekk loo xam ne say dëkkandoor ñu ngi koy gis xam nañ ne yaa ngi koy lekk te mosuñ ci xel ak bët yooyu yëpp dañ koy moytu te yooyu yëpp lu ñu war a bàyyi xel la
waaw Imam dafa mel ni time bi jeex na waaye amoon nañ fi ay laajte yu bëri yi nga xam ne bëgg nañ koo def waaye xam naa bu dee am nga jot rek di nga bëgg di dellu si
any time bu ngeen ñu soxlaa rek bi isnillahi taala
dinañ mën a
liggéeyal yàlla la di leen sant di leen gërëm
jërëjëf man tamit si weeri koor bi nag am naa ñi nga xam ne ñoo ma nekk di support di ma jox yu yiw yu ma nekk di sol nii ñoom maa ngi leen di jaajëfal bàyyuñ ma nag benn yoon depuis bu weeri koor bi commencé
xam naa bu weeri koor jeexee danañ continuer di la
waaw gars yi dañ war a continuer keñ dañ war a waaw dégg ngeen ko si imam da ngeen war a continuer da ngeen war a continuer so the outfit is here. This is provided by Caxwell. Thank you so much for this particular outfit. So I'm afraid that is all we have time for till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting program. Bye-bye.